Joel, Gotbackup is new. So for those people who've never heard of it, what is it?
It's a cloud backup storage system, very similar to Google Drive or Dropbox. And what makes it phenomenally different is the amount of space that we're offering. So a lot of people say, well, are you better than Google? Of course not. Google's a multi-billion-dollar company, but we're similar relative to the service. So that gives people a quick overview. But what makes us very different is we give people 3 times the space for unlimited devices. Whereas if you were with Google or Apple, you only get 2 terabytes of space for your devices only. So we created a family plan where everybody can back up everything they have for less than $10 a month. And people go, that's a phenomenal value. So that's why we're growing so quickly, I think, is because it's just a great deal.
Yeah, and $10 a month. I mean, that's
for your whole family, right? Your whole family, every device. So yeah, that's what people latch onto. It seems to be the hook. They're like, that's a no-brainer, and I'd love to try it.
You know, Joel, when I first heard you talking about it, I thought, well, you know, I back all my stuff up on my computer, but then you were talking about pictures on your phone, and I thought, oh, I don't have my phone backed up anywhere. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, and one thing that I've heard, you know, as well as people say, well, I have a little bit over here at Google Drive, I have a little bit over here at Dropbox, I have a little bit in the iCloud. Now you can put everything into one spot, and it's not just backup like Google Drive, it's a full collaborative program as well. So talking about phones, if you're on holiday with 10 other friends and they take a ton of pictures with their phone, you can actually have them create a collaborative album, you know, just by sending a share link off to them and create a wonderful, you know, video and photo album of your whole vacation. You can share anything else that you can think of. Word docs, PowerPoints, videos, pictures, whatever you have, contracts, anything you want, and you can choose and pick and choose who can collaborate with it as well. So it's not just a phenomenal backup solution; it's a phenomenal collaboration solution as well.
So if I've got a file that I want to share with unlimited people, let's say I create an ebook or something like that, can I host my ebook on Gotbackup and then give people a link to it there?
Absolutely, 100%, exactly. And it's very easy. You just, once it's automatically uploaded to Gotbackup, you just click 2 buttons, you create a share link, and then you send that share link off to whoever you want to share it with.
Cool. So this could like get rid of everything, MediaFire, Dropbox, you know.
Exactly. Because the massive amount of storage space, it allows people to collaborate in one location and stuff. And let me just, I know it's off topic, but a lot of people also say, okay, and we'll probably get into this, I'm sure. Not only do we back up your stuff here, but we also back it up to a third-party data center in case Armageddon happened here, a meteorite hit our building, or an unheard of hurricane came through here. So it's very, very secure. And we've got double redundancy in the data center, and then triple redundancy, putting all your stuff to a third-party data center as well.
Well, and the other thing is, Joel, this is not your first rodeo. Wow, Gotbackup. How old is Gotbackup now?
Gotbackup, we had our first version in 2014, but it wasn't our software. We were white labeling something. So we had to put it to rest very quickly because the software just wasn't what we wanted it to be. So we actually launched this version, which was built in-house by our own dev team on April 4th. So not very long ago, April 4th of this year.
So Gotbackup is only several months old, but you as a company, you've had your company for quite a while now, right?
Yeah, I started in 1997 in Canada. Then we built our first data center there. We outgrew that data center, not relative to space, but relative to fiber optics. At the time in Canada, there was only 2 fiber optic providers in the whole country, Videotron and Bell Canada. We ate up all the fiber in the city I was living in. So on June 14th, 2007, we moved to San Antonio, Texas, because there's tons of data centers here. And we opened up, I believe, late 2008, early 2009. We bought the shell building that we're in right now. We did the build out. We built out the server room, and we moved everything from Canada to here, either late 2008 or early 2009.
Cool. So Gotbackup is obviously an amazing service for people at a crazy reasonable price. Now, what about somebody who's looking for a business opportunity? Why is Gotbackup a great business opportunity to share this service with people, build a team, etc.?
Well, it's a great question because, we do have other products and services that aren't part of this, like this meeting that we're meeting together. But I always ask myself, if not for any opportunity, is the product needed in the marketplace, and is it priced competitively in the marketplace? And those 2 check boxes are checked off, because if you look at Dropbox, who doesn't have an affiliate program of any sort, they have 700 million users. So that proves that people not only want, but need secure cloud storage space because the digital horizon that we're building up is more and more and more. I had 70,000 pictures and videos on my phone alone. I had no idea I had that many. Now they're backed up into the cloud itself. You know what I mean? So what makes it a phenomenal opportunity is where else can you get a real product that people need for less than $10 a month? Imagine starting a business. So if I have a business here, that doesn't even pay for one employee for 1 hour's worth of work. That's $10 a month to start your whole business. No shipping, no handling. And at that of attractive price point. Now there is a one-time $40 affiliate fee. It's just one time to get started in your business. But after that, it's only $9.97 a month. And what makes it a phenomenal opportunity is it makes it very affordable anywhere in the world. And as of today, since April, we're in 102 countries. It's just really grown. And that's the other aspect of the opportunity that's really cool. Because it's a digital product, unlike physical products, it's very difficult to get physical products into other countries. It can cost upwards of $2 to $5 million, you know, by the time you have their regulations there and you have a warehouse there and distribution channels there. With us, you could sell this product to your next door neighbor just as easily as you could sell it to somebody in Japan or Singapore. They get it instantly, it's instant gratification, and they can start using the product immediately. So that's what makes it, you know, it truly is a business with zero borders because there's no regulations relative to software in any country in the world. With physical products, if it's health and wellness or cosmetic, there's all types of different rules and regulations that you have to follow. And with us, there's none. So that's why I think we've grown so quickly as well. So you could sign up today and sign up somebody in Japan 5 minutes later. And I think you did that, Gloria, yourself. You did an amazing job.
Yes, I did actually. So, and what about the compensation plan, Joel? What makes your compensation plan unique, different, great?
Well, 75% payout. Again, a lot of people kind of say, Joel, how can you afford to do that? Because the industry standard is about 33% payout. Well, that's again, because if you have a physical product, you've got warehousing and all that kind of stuff. Our cost is our cost of our development only. So our overhead relative to physical products is much less. So because it's much less, we can afford to pay out 75% residual income back to our distributors. So it's paid out in 3 ways. Number one, well, actually, we have a fast start where we pay people 200% commission on a monthly sale the first month. So if it's $9.97, we're actually paying a little bit more than that. We're paying $25 fast start on your first sale, which helps people acquire new customers, you know, because that's the hardest part is acquiring a new customer. So
okay,
that's
wait a second, Joel.
Sure.
So it's $9.97, but you're paying out $25?
$25, correct.
Okay, how's that possible? I know people ask.
Well, obviously, you know, incorporated in that. So even if it's just a customer, we're paying out $25, but some of that cost is offset by some people becoming affiliates at $40, which we don't pay commissions on. So it's still a very lucrative compensation plan relative to that. And we know, being in the industry for a long time in internet marketing and everything else, the hardest thing to do is to acquire a customer. So you got to pay your distributors lucratively for that so that they stay motivated as well. You know, you make 4 sales a day, that's $100. $100 anywhere in the world is good money for people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's decent
Absolutely.
anyway, you know?
Yeah. Well,
and if you take that $100 in the Philippines or somewhere else, it's amazing money, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So that's the first part.
Yeah.
Second part, month 2 is 25% direct. So if you have any of your direct referrals, you get 25% every single month. And on your direct referrals, the third part is you get a 25% matching check. And I think that's where a lot of the really strong income is coming from, which is the matching check as well. And so would you consider that 200% upfront, 25% month 2, 25% matching check? That's 50% payout. And the last 50%, the last 25% we pay in our binary, but we do our binary commissions totally different from anybody else. There's no business volume. There's no there's no gotchas. A lot of binaries have gotchas. Well, if you get this, then you get this extra bonus or whatever. What we do is we actually look at our total revenue at the end of the month. We calculate what our net profits were at the end of the month relative to all our overhead. And our overhead is very low because thankfully the building that we're in is paid off. I mean, relatively low. Just our server room costs us like $7,000 a month to cool, but that's still very, very low overhead in comparison, you know?
Sure.
So what we do is we take our total revenue we calculate what our net profits are, and we take 25% of our net profits across our whole company. So it doesn't matter if it's a Gotbackup sale or any other ones of our tools, that increases our net profits. And then what we do is we take those net profits to calculate what we're going to pay per cycle. So just as an example, using even numbers, let's say, and it's way more than this, but I'm not that good at math. Let's say there's 100,000 in net profit, and there's 10,000 cycles. We calculate that there's 10,000 cycles to pay. Well, that would be $10 per cycle. And we've been averaging about $9 per cycle. And when you think about that, with 4 on one side, 2 on the other, that's 6, we're paying out $10. That's phenomenal. If you look at some other companies, they're only paying out 25 cents per user on a $9.97 product. So if you calculate that 6, that's $60, right? To the company, we're paying out almost $10 of that. So a very high percentage goes into that binary as well. But what I like to tell people, because I understand some people like binaries, some don't. I call it a bonus. It really is more of a bonus at the end of every month. As your tree grows, don't focus on who's on the left, who's on the right, all that kind of stuff. Just know that as it grows, it really is more like a bonus pool. As you calculate more cycles in there, your bonus pool goes up every month. And that's why that's what I tell people. Don't focus on the binary because it's only 25% of the 75% total, but it sure is a nice bonus at the end of every month.
Sure. But I mean, just the fact that you're paying more than 200% upfront as a fast start bonus, plus 25% a month on everybody that you've shared this with directly, plus the 25% matching bonus. I mean,
it's a very lucrative compensation plan. And we wanted to do it that way because, I want to see people succeed. That's what elates me. After doing this for 25 years, I've made good money in the industry where I'm secure for the rest of my life. And so and let me just come one step back. With the first 2 years online, I struggled. I came from a cardiac rehab education. I didn't know what a mouse was practically, So I struggled for 2 years. And then I finally woke up one day and I discovered that I made a sale at 3 o'clock in the morning for $9.97. And I went absolutely berserk. I was like, oh my God, I made money while I was asleep. This is a real business. I didn't have to do anything. I was dreaming about something and money came in. And at that point, that was a mind shift for me. And I just said, okay, what did I do right? And how do I reverse engineer that to turn that from 1 sale to 5 sales, 5 sales to 100 sales, 100 sales to 300 sales. And so that moment I'll never forget in my life. I called my mom bragging, I told you I could do it. And she's like, Joel, your daughter's born and $9.97 over 2 years is not going to pay for diapers even, I was like, Mom, come on. And she was just the uber conservative. She wasn't being a jerk. Right. It was just the safety side. But that's what I want for everybody else. And right now, as of today, over 1,050 people have made sales with us. That's a lot of people who've never made a sale online before having that breakthrough moment where they know it's possible for them. Because, when I was starting out, it's all external motivation. You hear about people making money all over the place online and it motivates you, but it's never hit home directly into your heart, Right. But when you make that first sale, that motivation goes from extrinsic to intrinsic motivation because now it's doable for you. And again, I'll never, ever forget. That was the happiest, aside from my children being born, that was the happiest business day of my life because at that moment, I'm like, I know I can do this. And that's all I want for everybody else.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Joel. I really appreciate that. And, I remember actually the same thing that happened for me. No money, no money, no money, no money, no money, no money, no money.
And you start questioning yourself. Do I get a job? Is everybody else right? What do I need to do here? And it's very disheartening. I would go to bed every night at about 3 a.m. trying to work this business. Oh, I guess I got to get a job. And then I'd wake up the next day and remember my why and go, no, I deserve more. So I did. And to everybody out there who's just starting out, I did have a backup plan. I was working as a doorman at night and then working my business, when I got home from work and during the day. A lot of people, and I'm just saying this, sharing this with people, because we have professional engineers, all types of people say, I just lost my job, and they believe the hype online of click one button, you're going to make, all kinds of money. And so they come to us, they say, hey, can this replace my income this month? Hell no. Hell no. You know what I mean? Can you replace your income over 6 months? Absolutely. But are you going to do it on day one? No. So the point I'm trying to make is as you're building your business, please make sure you have your backup plan of having your bills paid and putting food on the table. And that way it keeps it fun, right? This is a $10 a month business. It needs to be fun. You can't have your back against the wall knowing that your mortgage is due, or you can't pay for your food or your car payment and all that kind of stuff, because you're ultimately going to set yourself up for failure. Because it took me 2 years. I give myself a little bit of a pat on the back because most people quit, within 30 days? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I didn't quit because I had money coming in while I built this business. And I'm so glad I didn't quit, because every night at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, I'm done. I've had enough of this. I'm not doing it anymore. You know what I mean? And I know we're off topic from Gotbackup, but I know that's what a lot of people go through when they first get started, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, and it's part of the entrepreneurial journey, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
And you and I have both been through it. I was telling somebody just yesterday, because they want to know, well, how long will it take? And it's like,
and that's a very, very good point. I could share a story. It might be a bit too long, but let's just use you as an example. We met. You obviously felt you could trust us. You liked the product, and you brought in a whole ton of people right away. That's how it kind of worked for me. Is I was doing door-to-door sales when I first got started, trying to sell our services, which was web hosting at the time. And then all of a sudden, I had scarlet fever one time, and I had graduated enough in my home. I was still working out of my home, where I was able to get a home phone line and a business phone line, but I was still working out of my home. The business phone line rang at 6 p.m. at night, and on my website, it said 9 to 5, right? I'm like, oh, I'm not getting it because I'm sick. I had a fever, 104. Divine intervention, God, whatever, something said, pick up the damn phone, Joel. So I pick up the phone, and this guy spends about 30 minutes with him, asking me all types of questions. And he says, I really appreciate all your answers. Get ready to get about 300 customers overnight. So I hung up the phone, and I went to my wife, and I'm like, I just talked to some whack job who tells me he's going to bring me 300 people overnight. You know what I mean? And I was only comparing it to my own success, where at that time I had about 400 customers, but it took me like 4 or 5 months to get those 500 customers. I'm like, I just wasted my time. I wake up the next day and he lied. He didn't bring in 300. He bought 452 customers overnight. So I'm like, holy cow. Okay, I got to call this guy, but I can't sound too excited. You know what I mean? So I called him, and he explained that he'd been blogging for many years. He had a big newsletter list. He loved what we had to offer, and he just sent an email to his list. So that's the other thing that you have to realize too, folks, is sometimes, because you say, how long does it take? Sometimes some people meet the right leader and their income skyrockets right away. The key is just don't give up, guys. This is a $10 a month business. You know what I mean? So if it takes you 6 months and you spent $60, but you've learned some good sales skills, you know, all of a sudden that light bulb goes off on how to do this properly. So what? You know, like, again, a day's work of one employee is $80 to $100, 6 months of our service, you know, so don't have those unrealistic expectations, because some do it very quickly. Others take longer. It took me 2 years. I can guarantee people it won't take 2 years for them if they follow what we're doing, because you know, when I got started in 97, it was a dial-up modem, right? Ding, ding, dong, dong, AOL. You know, so there was no videos. There was, you know, it was only long form written copy on a website that still took 3 minutes to load. So you didn't have the mentorship and the availability like Zoom to be on calls learning from top leaders. So it's very doable. You know what I mean? And that's what excites me for everybody.
1,000%. And, you know, people say, oh, Gloria, you brought in over 200 people in a week. It's like, yes.
They just don't understand the backstory, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I had overnight success in 6 years, you know?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
and then a lot of people, oh, that's not fair. They don't realize that let's call a spade a spade. You have to work your butt off, but if you do, the rewards are there. A lot of people think they get into, and here's the challenges with a low entry product. And again, I'm sharing this so that people can manage their expectations. What you put into something is generally the same amount of effort that put people into it. What do I mean by that? If you start a restaurant and it costs you $400,000, you're going to work night and day to try to make that business a success. With us, because it's only $10 a month, you know, there wasn't a whole lot invested. So people simply don't put in the work sometimes, but you still have to put in the work and the rewards are there. I know for a fact you worked your butt off for 6 or 7 years to build the trust. And that's the other thing that people don't realize. Clearly, you have massive trust with your organization.
Yeah.
Trust doesn't come in a day. So if you join today, no, you're not going to have 100 people join tomorrow, because you've got to build trust with those people first. That's the key to your success. And that takes time no matter what.
Absolutely. Yes. Joel, thank you so much for this. I really, really appreciate it. And for those of you who are interested in finding out more about Gotbackup and getting going, starting a business, check out the link below. And Joel and I look forward to seeing you inside Gotbackup.
Likewise. Thank you, Gloria, for the interview. It's a pleasure to be here. I look forward to working with you for years and your team, and you're just an amazing woman. And I can't thank you enough as well. And to those who are watching, thank you for your time. I know your time is valuable, and we'd love to work with you as well.
Thanks, Joel.